Okay, good morning to all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good. So today we will going on to start our next assignment, and that is design of data acquisition system. Now see what is mean by that data acquisition system. It is nothing but somewhat automated system uh, without any human interface. It should get operate. Okay, and the best example is auto water level controller. Have you seen auto water level controller for domestic purpose? Mostly such type of auto controllers are preferred. Okay. You people might have using this automated system at your home or we can say at your society, etc. Okay. Now, before actual starting with this assignment, we will see the basic block diagram or how to design and develop this system to keep the water level, or we can say that water tank, it should remain fill up automatically. Okay, there should not be a need of manually to operate the motor pump. That water pump, similarly, when that overhead tank it gets completely fill up, then no need to turn off the pump. Whatever the things are there, whenever that tank, overhead tank, we can say, whenever will get empty, the water pump it should get turned on, and whenever it gets refilled completely, then that pump it should get automatically turn off. Is it? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Under this, under this assignment, that is data acquisition system, what we have to design and develop. Okay. So, so many things we will going on to consider while designing this complete system. One by one, you will get clear about that. So simply, I will show here. See, suppose this one is the overhead tank, which is used as at our domestic purpose. Okay, and one more tank is there. Mostly, it is preferred to store the water coming from corporation. Okay, so mostly this tank, it is underground tank, right? And this one is overhead. So see, there will be one pump, water pump. We can consider it as a submersible, or that conventional one. We consider the submersible only, which is used for this underground tank. Okay, so that there will be a pipeline which is used to refill that overhead tank. Okay, and here it is that water pump inside that tank. Okay, and the outlet of that overhead tank, it is taken out somewhat from the bottom side like this, and later on we are utilizing it, right? So this is the outlet. This one is, it is the inlet to this overhead tank. This one is underground. Okay, now you might have seen there is another option also available. If that corporation water is not available in this underground tank, then generally we people are taking one bore well also, right? So there is again one more pump inside that tube well or bore well, that is also a submersible pump, right? So this is nothing but a tube well in which there is one more pump that is known as a submersible pump like this. If water is not available in this underground tank, what is the source of this water? This is from corporation, correct now? But if it is not available, then we have to turn on the water pump which is available in that tube well, okay? Mostly that separate pipeline is there. This is again one more, we can say, inlet to that overhead tank, okay? This is the another inlet, okay? The priority is given. First, you have to note down all these things. Huh? The priority, it is given to the underground tank and the submersible pump which is available in that tank. If water is not available in this underground tank, then the second priority is given to submersible pump. Okay, so there are two motors. One is at the tube well and another one is at the underground tank. Is it clear now?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible? Whatever the things I'm trying to show you, is it visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, just clear that concept so that it will be somewhat easy for the implementation purpose. Okay. So we are considering two tanks. One is underground tank, another one is overhead tank. And whatever the system we have to design and develop, suppose this is our complete system, that is nothing but auto water level controller, which will going on to sense the water available at the overhead tank. The system will again going on to consider the availability of water in the underground tank, right? And accordingly, it will go on to take the decision either to turn on this pump, which is available in the underground tank, or to turn on the pump, which is available in the tube well, right? Similarly, it will go on to observe continuously the level of water in that overhead tank. Okay. One precaution we will go on to take over here, we will not going on to wait that overhead tank will get completely discharged, right? We'll keep somewhat reservoir, because so many times, even if suppose we consider that reference line exactly at the bottom, that overhead tank will get completely discharged, and at the same time, if power supply is not available, right now. So instead of that, what care we will take? We'll take somewhat reservoir. For example, again, here we'll take one example. If the total height of this overhead tank, if it is of 15 feet, okay, we'll consider that reservoir of 1 feet. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So see, what we are considering that overhead tank, its total height is of 15 feet, and we're going on to keep that reservoir of 1 feet. Okay. Similarly, the another reservoir we will going on to keep to the underground tank also just above the pump. We'll not going on to wait that underground tank will get completely empty whenever this pump will be in on condition, correct? Otherwise, what will happen? if it gets empty and does not get detected by our auto water level controller, this system, then there may be a chance of this pump, it will going on to run in without load condition, and that motor will get damaged. Okay, and that's why that reservoir at the underground tank also we will going on to consider the water level on the pump. It should be above the pump. Okay, so that it will going on to work continuously in loading condition. And if it gets completely empty and still that pump remains in on state or that motor remains in on state, then it will going on to work in overloading, underload condition, and that motor gets damaged or it will get damaged, right? So to protect the motor, we're going to keep somewhat reservoir at the underground tank also. Is it clear up to over here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So many things are there. Another one that care also we have to take. Suppose that overhead tank, it gets empty. Our system decided to turn on the pump. Anyone, either from underground or from submersible, okay. Whenever that any one pump will get turned on to refill the overhead tank, right? At the same time, our system will go on to continuously measure the power factor, right? What is that power factor or how it is to be measured? That also I will go on to explain. Why there is need to measure the power factor or to watch the power factor? Because if that power factor gets degraded below 0.7, then it is harmful to the power lines. Okay? Or basically, why that power factor gets degraded? Because whatever the motors, pumps I shown, both are of inductive type loads, right? Whenever inductive type load gets operated, a current gets lagged behind the applied voltage, is it? But it should not get lagged so that the power factor goes below the 0.7. Actually, for resistive load, that power factor is always unity, cos phi. You might have studied it, right now. So, if during the onset of any one pump, if that power factor by that pump or pump, if it gets degraded below 0.7, immediately the action should be taken to turn off that pump. Okay? To protect the motors as well as to protect the power lines also. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, whenever this overhead tank will get empty up to the reservoir, okay, the signal will get sent to our controlling circuitry to take the action. Which action? To turn on the pump. First priority will be given to the underground tank. There will be a sensor. So the system will take review from the underground tank through or by using that sensor. Is there availability of water in that underground tank or not? Right? If it is not there, then the system will decide to turn on the pump from the tube well. Is it? Similarly, second case will take, suppose that water level is almost at the half level of that underground tank, sensor will sense it and will go on to conclude our system that there is availability of water, you can turn on the pump. Okay? Now this pump will get turned on from the underground tank, right? But see, this tank is almost totally empty, while the water available in the underground tank is not that much to refill that overhead tank completely, is it? So whenever this pump will get turned on, because there is somewhat water available, and when that water level will go down up to its reservoir, right? The pump should get turned off again, even if this overhead tank do not get completely refilled, is it? Next case, if this underground tank is or the water is sufficiently available to refill this overhead tank completely, okay, if that water level reaches to its maximum limit, or we can say overflow limit, there is again one more overflow pipe available. You might have seen it, right? Which is at the top of that tank. Okay. So whenever the water level will reach to up to the overflow limit, sensor will sense it and will send the signal to our control system to turn off the pump, either underground pump or that submersible pump. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all these things we have to implement under this assignment. So one by one, we will start it now. If you have any doubt, any query regarding this, you can ask. Otherwise, we will go ahead. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, we'll see about the water level sensor. You might have studied, or it might be there in your mechatronics. So many sensor transducers you already are studying under that subject. So first of all, we'll see about that water level sensor. We're going to use the controller also, microcontroller, which is there in your syllabus currently.
Yes, sir.
Which microcontroller is there in your syllabus?
8051.
8051. I think it is only at the introductory level, na? The
Sorry.
PIC is there. PIC is there.
पीक नंतर नाही सर पुढच्या युनिट्स मध्ये आता तरी 8051.
8085.
Okay, means your first unit is based on 8051.
8051, 8085.
Okay, we'll see that. That is the selection criteria of microcontroller. If it is possible to design and develop by using 8051, you can, or you have to go for PIC. Okay. What is the selection criteria for microcontroller while selecting to design and develop any system? It's a
IO
memory
ports.
size. Yes, IO ports, memory size, etc. Right? So whenever you will completely design and develop the program for this system, at that time you have to decide which microcontroller is to be get selected. Either 8051 is sufficient or not, or we have to go for that PIC. Okay. Then we will require somewhat signal conditioning circuits also. What is meant by signal conditioning? Signal conditioning is nothing but to convert that signal so that our controller can process it, right? For example, if the output of our sensor or transducers are in analog in nature, then there is need of ADC, right now. Similarly, whenever we will think how to calculate that power factor and all that, at that time also we have to sense the voltage signal as well as current signal, and we have to measure the phase difference between that two signals. In that case, we will require the level shifter, voltage level shifter. Already I told how that voltage level shifter works or how it is to be designed while studying the op-amp applications, correct? So all these are nothing but conditioning. Similarly, there is one more application by using op-amp, and that is nothing but zero crossing detector, ZCD. You might have heard it. Okay. So that ZCD, or using that ZCD, we can find out the phase difference between current waveform and the voltage waveform, right? So step by step, we will discuss on that. Then next one, how to sense that voltage and current signals, sensing of voltage and current signals. Okay. Which sensor is to be used, that also we will discuss at that time. Then later on, we will require the switching circuitry to turn on that pump or turn off that pump. Okay. That circuitry also we will want to design and develop. Correct? So is it okay up to over here? So
Yes, sir.
which level sensor, liquid level sensor, are you studied? Anyone under your mechatronics? Anyone sensor?
सर
Yes or no?
वॉटर लेवल सेन्सर झालाय कॅपॅसिटी टाईप.
Which one? Which one?
वॉटर लेवल सेन्सर
Water
कॅपॅसिटी
level
टाईप.
sensor.
Yes, I am asking the same water level sensor, but which one? Under that so many are there, na?
कॅपॅसिटी टाईप.
Capacitive, resistive, strip type, etc., etc.
Capacitive type. Capacitive.
Okay. So shall we take the same for our
Yes, sir.
discussion? Okay. So now, hope so you are well familiar with that capacitive liquid level sensor, right? How it is preferred, how it is used. Have you done that practice? How to utilize that capacitive sensor?
Sir, it is dipped underwater vertically.
It's okay. It will kept. Suppose that capacitive sensor is kept over here, right? At the bottom of that overhead tank, right? According to the level of water, the pressure on that sensor will get changed. Is it? And whenever the pressure on that sensor will get changed, its property will get changed. Which property? That is the capacitance. Right now? Are you studied the same?
No, sir. दुसरं होतं
Then?
तिथे. तिथे वर्टिकली प्लेस करून तिथे आता वॉटर लेवल जशी वाढेल ना तर कॅपॅसिटी जे कॅपॅसिटी मटेरियल आहे तो इन्क्रीज होतो. सो त्याच्यामुळे ते प्रॉपर्टी वाढते, इन्क्रीज होते.
Which one? Which property?
आपलं
Its capacitance?
capacitance get increased due to conduction of area is.
Yes. Its capacitance will go on to change. I agree with this.
Yes.
Whenever that water level will get changed, that means the water pressure on that sensor, it will go on to change. Is it? Now suppose I have to use it. How I can? I require the output in terms of voltage levels starting from 0 to 12 volts. Right? What I will do, I will connect this sensor in such a way that there will be somewhat circuitry, which we can call it as a signal conditioning circuit, and its output, it should get changed between this range, that is 0 volts to 12 volts. So is it possible? This is my signal conditioning. I have to process the signal coming from this capacitive sensor. And accordingly, its output, it should get changed like 0 to 12 volts of that signal conditioning circuit. So is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so which signal conditioning circuitry you will prefer? Just any one example? Can we prefer Venn bridge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in Venn bridge, what is its output? That
Sir,
output is in
changing.
terms of voltage, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Changing the capacitance, the voltage.
Yes, so the Venn bridge output gets changed according to the change in capacitance of that capacitor. Is it? It is like this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you have to do, you have to design and develop this signal conditioning circuit. Okay. Whenever, see, I will give you the hint as well as task. Whenever the water level in this overhead tank will remain only 1 feet height of water is 1 feet only, that is before the reservoir, right now. That means somewhat above the discharge pipe of that overhead tank, is it? Whenever it will goes to almost at 1 feet, the output of our signal conditioning circuit, it should become 12 volts. When overhead tank water level will be at how much? 1 feet only. Is it? Are you getting it? You have to design that signal conditioning circuit in such a way that whenever that overhead tank water level will goes to 1 feet only, will come down to and will remain 1 feet only. At that time, the output of this capacitive sensor will get changed. Accordingly, my signal conditioning circuitry and its output, it should become as a 12 volt. Note down it. This is one type of problem statement. When water level in the overhead tank will remain only at the height of 1 feet only. Okay. The output of signal conditioning circuit should be equals to 12 volt DC. Is it? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And second one, whenever water level will be at this much height, right? That means up to this overflow. Correct. How much it will be? It will be approximately 14.5 feet. Or we can consider 14 feet. When the water level above this sensor will be of almost how much? 14 feet. Then the output of this signal conditioning circuit, it should become 0 volts. Overhead tank water level at how much? 14 feet. The total height of that tank is 15 feet. We kept that upper side also to the somewhat height we given for that overflow. So before overflow occurs, correct, the pump should get turned off to avoid the wastage of water. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it possible at your end? Yes or no? I think you might have studied that Venn bridge under your mechatronics subject, and you done that practical also. According to the water inserted in that tube, the output of that Venn bridge gets changed and it is displayed in terms of mm. is it, on the display. Practical, you might have performed it right now. So the same thing we have to design and develop. Will it be okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so try for these two problem statements up to your next practical session. If it is not possible from your side, then just let me know. I will explain it again, right? Now see, after this signal conditioning circuit, we are getting its output either as 12 volts or 0 volt. We will go on to apply it to our microcontroller. We'll select one pin as its input pin, any one, and whenever that signal obtained at that pin will be 0 volts, then the action taken by our controller, it should be to turn off the pump. Okay. And whenever the voltage at its input pin, we can't apply a 12 volt. Maximum, we can apply it as a 5. Is it? Yes or no? To the controller, microcontroller, maximum logic high input signal. That means in terms of voltage, it is how much? It is 5 volts. Correct. From our signal conditioning circuit, we are getting that output which varies from 0 to 12. So it is an analog type of sensor. Okay. Or the system which we decided to design and develop by using that capacitive sensor and signal conditioning circuit, its output will be going to vary from 0 to 12. That means it is linear and analog. Is it? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whenever it will be of 12 volts, we can't apply it directly as a input to that input pin of our microcontroller to take the action, whatever it may be. That action, which action is to be get taken, that also we'll discuss later on. But before going to that, this 12 volt, it should get converted to its maximum logic high level operating condition, maximum operating condition of that microcontroller, and that is of 5 volts. So we'll require again one more signal conditioning circuit. See, whenever it will go to 12 volt, that means what? Our tank will go on to empty, is it? And then the output of that capacitive sensor with signal conditioning circuit will go to 12, is it? If that water level is above 1 feet, that means the tank is the tank is not empty right now. That means no need to take the action by our system. Whenever it will get empty up to the reservoir, then and then action should get taken. Are you getting it? That means whenever the output of signal conditioning circuit will go to 12 volts, then and then our microcontroller, our system should take the action. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we will do, we will connect the output of this signal conditioning circuit to another signal conditioning which is based on op-amp, and again op-amp as a comparator. Correct? So what you will do, there will be again two voltage dividers. One should be powered by constant DC so that we can obtain the reference voltage. Suppose this DC voltage is constant DC VDC as a 12 volts. Or you can take another value also. Suppose it is of 15 volts. We're going on to power our op amp or whatever op amps we will going to use. We're going on to power it by plus minus 15 volts. Okay. And the second voltage divider, this one, it will get powered by the output of this signal conditioning circuit, right? Suppose I mention it as A, terminal A. This terminal A, it will get connected to this second voltage divider. If it is R1, R2, we'll call this one as R1 dash and R2 dash, right? So just imagine, whenever the signal conditioning output will go to 12 volts, right? The op amp output, it should become plus 5, which will go on to connect to the input pin of our microcontroller. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question is, exactly how much that input voltage level is get considered by the op amp as a logic high. It will not be exactly 5 volts. Exactly how much will be considered as logic high? Logic high level for any microcontroller is exactly how much in terms of voltage? According to me, it is exactly not 5 volts. That means if I applied that voltage level as 4.8 volts, what that microcontroller will consider it as logic high or logic zero? You studied 8051 na? Then it should be known to you. Okay. Now this is again one more task. Note down at your end. And during next lecture, you have to answer me. Okay. Logic high means exactly how much voltage we have to apply to the microcontroller so that it will go on to sense it as a high. Below that particular level, for example, if that 4.5 volt gets considered as a logic high by that microcontroller, instead of that 4.5, if I applied 4.4, that controller will go on to decide it at logic 0. Okay, and this one as logic high. Yes or no? Similarly, above 5 volts, if it is 5.5, it will get considered as what? Logic high. I just given the example. These are not the exact values that you have to identify. You have to search from the data sheet of that particular microcontroller which you will go on to use to design and develop this system. Okay. Beyond this 5.5, it will be dangerous to that microcontroller. That means we have to take care that voltage to the input pin of that microcontroller, it should not get exceed. And these values are given in the data sheet that you have to identify. Is it okay?
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Okay. So exactly what is the range that you have to find out? That microcontroller can sense it as a logic high level. And what is the minimum voltage below which it will be going on to consider it as a logic 0 level? Correct? Logic 0 means it should not be exactly 0 volts. Remember, logic high, it means, again, it should not be exactly 5 volts, precisely 5 volts. somewhat plus minus voltage level is there, which is applicable to that logic low level also, or minimum voltage also. Is it? Are you getting it? Exactly what task I given to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if we use this op-amp in open loop configuration, we know its output will be 90% of VCC. Correct now? That switching will going to take place 90% of VCC, and to avoid again that negative output, we will be going to use one series diode, so that whenever the output of this op-amp will be minus Vsat, the net output from the signal conditioning circuit across this RL, suppose it will remain 0 volt. Correct? And when the output of this op-amp will be plus Vsat, then the output voltage will be 13.5. Correct now? 90% of VCC. But that 13.5, again, we can't use as an input for microcontroller, because logic, maximum logic high level, it is given by the manufacturer, or it is mentioned in the data sheet to avoid the damage of that controller. Correct? That means, again, we will need somewhat Zener diode in this case, like this, so that it will be able to maintain the voltage level according to the requirement of that microcontroller. Suppose this Zener is of, we can say, 5.2 volts Zener. That means the voltage across this Zener, it will be of 5.2, even if its input is 13.5. That is the plus Vsat of this op-amp. Is it okay? So that we can down that DC voltage from 13.5 to 5.2, and that we can use it as an input to our microcontroller, which will get considered as a logic high. But the question is, can we really apply it as an input? Will it be harmful? That you have to finalize, that you have to decide by knowing the maximum voltage level from the data sheet of that microcontroller. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now the terminal selection, inverting and non-inverting, where that inverting should be and where that non-inverting should be. Correct? See, whenever this node voltage will reach to 12 volts by this signal conditioning circuit, and when it will be going to happen, when that tank will get empty up to its discharge level, then and then its output will go to 12. Is it? That we are applying to this voltage divider. And then the output of this op-amp, it should be plus Vsat. See this sequence properly. Whenever tank will get empty up to the reservoir of that tank, that is almost 1 feet from its bottom, then what should going on to happen? That signal conditioning circuitry output, it should go to 12 volts. Here I mention it, correct now? That 12 volt, where we are applying it to this voltage divider. And whenever it will reach to 12, then only the output of this op-amp, it should go to plus Vsat. Otherwise, the output of that op-amp, it should remain minus Vsat. Is it okay? Yes or no? So whatever the terminals, inverting and non-inverting terminals of that op-amp I selected, is it okay or not? Is it correct? Okay, how to design it? We'll consider this reference voltage, the reference, suppose it is equals to 2 volts, that I have to generate from how much? VDC of 15 volts. Okay, select R1. do this calculation. Let that R1 equals to, suppose 10 kilo ohms. What should be the value of R2? So that the node voltage by this voltage divider should be equals to 2, exactly 2 volts. Can you perform this calculation? It's very simple. During our prerequisite, I already covered it, all these things. That's why I taken that prerequisite. Okay, our time is also over. So we'll stop here, and during our next lecture, we'll continue from the same point, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.